is here to help you with breathe. Planting seeds and teaching skills. Teachers turn schoolyards to dreams. Who hates school gardens with ease?
Is plant timing underrated in school gardens? You are listening to School Gardens with Ease podcast. I'm Leila Mireskandari, your host, and this is episode number 50. One of the biggest technical mistakes I see teachers make when they grow a school garden, and even at the tiniest scale, when they just want to grow something, one thing with their students, is that they don't pay attention to timing. Gardening is very different than any other educational project or activity you do in your class. You can't do it just at any time of year with any seed. Makes sense, right? Of course, you'd say. Who doesn't know this? Seasons matter in gardening. Everybody knows spring is the time to plant, summer is the time to let the plants grow, fall is the time to harvest. You know, we have Thanksgiving in fall. Everybody knows that. And winter, everybody knows that it's time for rest, right? Wrong. Not everybody knows that. In fact, almost all teachers don't know it, or they act like they don't know it. And I'm just sick and tired of seeing well-meaning teachers start growing seeds at the wrong time of year. Just this past fall, my daughter's science teacher in the high school introduced a planting project to her science class, and they grew a whole bunch of seeds: tomatoes, pumpkins, corn, basil, and more. And of course, they were all excited. And I agree. That is exciting. And some of them even grew well. But then there was the question of, what are we going to do with all these plants? It's winter. This kills me every time, because this teacher either has to take them home and stick them at a window somewhere while they're slowly past their prime and die, or just simply throw them in the garbage right at the end of the semester, because there's no greenhouse, there's no grow light at the school. Like, we don't have the tools that you require to grow plants such as tomatoes and pumpkins all the way to their potential so you can harvest from them indoors. And now what does that teach kids? Yeah, sure, they got their hands dirty, they watched and experienced germination and learned that plants need water. But I really think this is not enough. I mean, we have to bring the standards a little bit higher. And it's not okay to sacrifice life for a little bit of a half-ass education. Excuse my language. I'm sure you can tell that I am so tired of this. I understand it's different in high school, right? This was a high school. So, because, you know, where I teach here, the high schools are semester-based, right? So if this teacher only does this project in the spring, in the spring semester, then the fall semester kids will miss out. And also believe me when I say that I see this happen again and again and again and again in elementary and middle schools too, where the teacher has the kids all year round and could totally do this in the spring instead. This is most of the time due to not thinking this through and treating gardening projects same as any other project or activity. That's why I don't accept teachers in my Oasis programs all year round, because they will not pay attention to the very clear timing that's attached to the lessons and start right after they register. Even though my Oasis programs are very clearly timed, and I close the doors and we start all together, and every lesson every week is very well timed with the seasons, with a little bit of a flexibility, but still it's timed with the seasons. I still have to make sure that everyone's access to the program is stopped at the end of the school year, or at the latest at the beginning of the next school year. Because before, when I let them access it forever, it would get teachers who wouldn't make it happen at the right time last year all of a sudden start to follow the lesson plans in the middle of the fall with a new cohort of students and start to grow tomatoes. And they were then wondering why it's not working. And trust me, the timing is super clear in my OSS programs. It's everywhere. The entire program is based on it. But this still was happening. This lack of understanding of timing when it comes to growing has to stop. Another thing that annoys me so much and almost drives me nuts, and it happens every year, and I just can't get used to it and get over it, is that the parents and teachers approach me in the middle of the spring wanting me to help them design and build a garden to be used that same year. Timing, people, timing. Just because you found an expert and are willing to spend money, it doesn't mean that we can perform miracles. Gardening projects need planning, and plants need time. And they have to be done at the right time. Could you throw money at it and, go and buy a bunch of seedlings and put together a garden filled with plants in 2 weeks? Of course you can. But what's the point of doing that? Is this a true school garden if the kids learn nothing? It's not. And these gardens are just simply not going to survive without a whole lot of summer maintenance. And sometimes even with a whole lot of summer maintenance. Because timing is even more important in a school garden than any other type of garden. If you start things early and they start producing in the middle of summer when the kids aren't there to harvest them, not only you're depriving them from the hands-on learning experience of harvesting and they don't get to enjoy the fruit of their own labor, but you also created a big summer maintenance for your community, the chore of harvesting. And if that's not done right, a whole big summer maintenance chore of constantly cleaning up. And then people wonder why their school gardens have so much summer upkeep. Wrong timing is one of the reasons. Not the only reason. There's also wrong plant selection, the wrong design, involvement of the wrong people at the wrong time, and much, much more. But definitely one of the biggest reasons is the wrong timing, for sure. Go grab my free guide called School Gardens with Almost No Summer Maintenance in the show notes. But going back to the gardening at the wrong time of year, please stop it. I know you care. I mean, of course you do. All teachers who plant with their kids are caring teachers. And I love that some of you are spontaneous and the idea might come to you in the middle of the night and you're so excited about it that you want to, start it tomorrow first thing in the morning with your students. Please hold your horses. Gardening is different than any other classroom activity. It's not hard or complicated. It's actually super easy, but it has to be done at the right time for it to be super easy. Because trying to grow a tomato at the window ledge in the middle of winter when there is no sunlight happening is more like a plant torture camp than any educational endeavor. But planting the same tomato seed at the same window ledge in the spring is successful, hopeful, beautiful, and highly educational in the most spontaneous, incidental way, while you can also do a whole bunch of planned, intentional education with it if you are that type of teacher. Timing is not only underrated in the classrooms when it comes to gardening, but it's almost always forgotten completely. Don't be that forgetful, careless teacher. Be the caring teacher with good timing, and you'll be the hero who your students will remember forever. I'll talk to you next week in another episode. You've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And please share this episode with other teachers who might be interested in this topic. See you next week for a new episode.